Hello and welcome to today's crypto news video, and in today's video I'll be talking about the cryptocurrency market on CoinMarketCap first of all. Then I'll take a quick look at the Bitcoin's price and kind of give you my thoughts on that, after which we'll jump into Twitter to talk about the latest poll that I've done on asking you what do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin's price and the crypto market overall before the end of this year, and the responses that we got, which are quite interesting. Then we'll jump straight into the news and talk about the latest news from Kucoin with regards to the hack that happened at the end of September. Then we'll talk about Bitmex's legal problems, and finally we'll close it off with Venezuela and how they're going to be using cryptocurrencies for global trading. But if you're new here, my name is Claudio and this is Crypto Exchange, the channel where I do crypto news, reviews, tutorials and interviews. So please hit that subscribe button and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, or dislike if you don't, and leave me a comment below letting me know what you think of the video or what you'd like to see next, of course. And let's get straight in and talk about the market. So as we can see on CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin's been trading at 10,599.28, up 0.74% in the last 24 hours, not too bad, down 0.6% in the last 7 days. So it's holding quite stable above 10K, which is always a good sign, right? But anything could happen. Let's take a look at the biggest losers, and that's PumaPay, which I haven't heard of. It could be a pump and dump. I mean, the circulating supply is absolutely humongous. As you can see here, 26 billion. It is trading at 0.002 cents. We've got Celsius, which is doing pretty well here, $1.29. Theta also up 8.9%. Zilliqa, so a lot of these older coins here, Theta and Zilliqa, have been doing pretty well as well. Now let's take a look at the biggest losers, and that's Wi-Fi, of course, 18,395, down 13.6%. And the reason for this is because there was some association with one of these projects that Andre Cronje is working on. Andre Cronje actually started with Wi-Fi with Yearn Finance, which is listed on a lot of good exchanges now, including Coinbase. But because he's been working on this secondary project, which he allowed to be tradable on Uniswap, and apparently it turned out that there was some kind of bug in the smart contract which allowed hackers to steal those, to steal the funds, to steal the coins, to access the wallets and basically steal the coins from the smart contract and dump the price to the ground. Basically that caused a lot of negativity, right? It's like, why did you rush to work on this secondary project if you didn't know, if you weren't sure that the smart contract is safe, right? Again, you can't guarantee that a smart contract is 100% bulletproof, but if you get it audited right before you allow trading, then at least you can give some kind of guarantees, right? Not 100%, but close enough, right? Whereas he rushed to make money, so that actually bit him hard. He got a lot of hate on Twitter because of that. People have lost money, you know, so it's normal to get that. So hence why it's being reflected on Yearn Finance, and of course it's also affecting the fork DeFi Money, which has nothing to do with Andre, because that is a fork, it's a separate vision from Andre, and yet somehow people just don't trust them anymore. And as you can see, SushiSwap, which is also related with DeFi, has also dropped significantly. Of course they had a lot of FUD as well with the CEO dumping and all that, so under $1. So it's horrible for the holders. I mean, Swipe has been struggling as well. Swipe has been doing pretty bad. You know, it tried to pump it. It went to like 175 or something like that, or 180 a few days ago, but now it's been dumping again. So, you know, I mean, all the way from it went out to $5. It touched $5 and then it just pulled back continuously, and it was just struggling to get back above. So people are very, very annoyed, and I think they shot themselves in the foot when they gave BNB holders an airdrop of Swipe weekly, right? This is one of the things that they've done, one of the marketing stunts that they've pulled on Swipe to basically kill Swipe in a way, right? So until this airdrop is over, Swipe is going to suffer, in my opinion, as BNB holders are going to constantly dump Swipe if they don't believe in it, right? They just want to get the profit. So yeah, pretty horrible situation to be in if you're a Swipe holder having to watch this. But that's enough about the crypto market. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's price here on Binance, as we can see. So this is on the 1-day chart, and my TA knowledge is not very good, like I'm learning TA, but I do know that if the price is moving around the moving average, and as we can see here, it is moving across the 99-day moving average here. As you can see, look how nicely it's holding above that. And then we've also got an area of support here. So hence why you can see when we dumped here to the 9800 area, we actually touched the previous resistance areas, right, that we had here back in back on these days here. So yeah, I mean, it just shows you that if we keep on holding above this this moving average, this 99-day moving average, we could be going back up to the 11K area. But there's also the bearish possibility, because if you've been doing any kind of TA whatsoever, then you know that if these moving averages, like the higher time frame moving average, goes below the lower time frame, it's usually a bad sign. So if we see this 25-day, which is the purple line, or sorry, the 7-day, which is the purple line, if we see that go below the 25-day, which is the red line, then it's a pretty bearish sign, right? It doesn't mean that it's definitely going to dump, but if both of these, like if the red line, which is the 25-day, goes below the 99-day, then it is pretty bearish, right? At least on the 5-minute charts, every time that happens, it causes a big dump later on, right? Not like a very big one, but big enough, right? It could go like down to here. It could cause a big red candle, which would be problematic in my opinion. So, but again, Bitcoin has been, is been different, right, than other altcoins. So I'm more referring to altcoins here. When this happens with altcoins, it's usually really bad. But again, they do lack liquidity. So with Bitcoin, because it has so much liquidity, perhaps it's not as bearish as we may think. But anyway, the fact that we're moving around this moving average here, it is pretty, it could be positive or negative, right? But I'm pretty worried about this, to be honest, because if we hang around here for too long, we could be pushing down. But if we bounce back up here, then that's going to be very bullish in my opinion, and then it's going to be a long time before we'll see a big drop here. Again, whales can't do anything, but I don't think that we'll see a massive drop back if we go bullish and we start pushing up again to make new highs. So yeah, we'll have to see if we can retest this area here. We may encounter some resistance here around the 11,300 area here. So yeah, that's a possibility too. But yeah, I mean, I don't normally do TA on this channel, but I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on this and what the possibilities are. And I'm pretty happy that we're sticking around this moving average and we're not breaking below it. But I'll have to keep an eye out on this, on these lines here with the moving averages. Overall, it's looking okay. But let's move on and talk about Twitter here. So this is the poll that I did a while back here on the 13th of September. Do you think we'll see another major crypto market crash before the end of 2020? And 45.8% of the people said yes. So a lot of you are pretty bearish apparently, and you do think that we're going to see another market crash, which is a possibility again because of COVID and all that. People are saying that in November we may actually see a financial crisis. So if that does happen, then of course it's going to plummet the stocks, and if the stocks plummet, then of course crypto follows, because we've seen that every time the stock market has crashed, the crypto market has also crashed. So Bitcoin tends to move with that, and if Bitcoin moves with that, then the altcoins follow even worse. Now 25% voted for no, and no idea just hodl were 29.2%. So the majority of people are actually hodlers as well, compared to the bears, as we can see here. So yeah, not too many people. I mean, 24 votes. It's not enough to kind of give you like a general feel, but at least from my community's perspective, it does show that people do think that we're going to see another market crash. So that is something to know, to think that, yeah, it is a possibility. And again, I do actually go with this as well. I do think that around November we may see a market crash, just because everybody's talking about that, at the moment, is like, keep your eyes out on November. We could see a big market crash, and if that does happen, it's going to be harsh on the crypto market, but it is what it is. I mean, if you're trading, you don't really care because you're going to have a stop loss in place. You're going to be moving into a stable coin and prepare for that crash, and then hopefully get back in on the dips. But if you're staking something, if you're hodling in your wallet, then you're going to be caught out like many people. And I do wonder if that's going to actually make a lot of the newbies leave the space, because I've been seeing a big surge of new people that have joined the crypto space in 2020 because the prices have started to pick up and so on, and then they've heard about DeFi and the gains they could make with all these food tokens. But I do wonder if that's going to make people bearish, if that's going to, if that's going to get people away and leave the cryptocurrency market once again. So that's why I really hope that we're not going to see this crash. I really hope that we're going to do well, but to be more on the realistic side, it could happen just because of this financial crisis that has yet to hit us. But that's that about this tweet. I'm going to be doing more polls in the near future. I have to think of some new polls to discuss. So yes, do please join my Twitter page. Follow me on Twitter and vote on these polls, because I'm curious to get your thoughts overall on the crypto market. But let's talk about the news here. So this is from CoinDesk. Kucoin CEO says suspects in $281 million hack were identified and authorities are on the case. So the CEO of Kucoin, which is Johnny Liu, tweeted that the South Korean crypto exchange has found what he described as the suspects of last month's hack that resulted in the theft of 281 million in cryptocurrencies. After a thorough investigation, we have found the suspects of the 9.26 Kucoin security incident with substantial proof at hand. That's actually September 26th. Liu said in the tweet law enforcement officials and police officially involved to take action. In addition, Liu said another $64 million of stolen assets have been recovered from suspicious addresses, bringing the total value of recovered assets to 204 million since the 1st of October. So that's actually interesting because it shows you that they're really trying to get this sorted, right? Kucoin don't want to go down like we've seen with Cryptopia, the cryptocurrency exchange in New Zealand that was listing a lot of these tokens that had no website, that had nothing whatsoever. They've been trying to make a living, but it didn't work out for them. That hack ruined them basically, so they had to shut down. And of course, they had to try and pay back the affected people. So pretty harsh there. But Kucoin obviously have the funding and they want to get this back to normal. I don't know if they had some kind of insurance fund in case of a hack, but we'll have to see how they progress with this. I'm going to keep an eye out on these news with Kucoin. Thankfully, I don't hold anything on Kucoin at the moment. I used to though, but I normally don't hold anything on exchanges unless I trade for more than a week. Like say if I want to get into an asset which is illiquid and it may take a week to fill, then I may hold them for like a week there, but I normally don't hold them for too long just because of the risks. With Binance, I do feel more confident though, because Binance have that insurance fund. They have paid people back that were affected. So if some hack happens again with Binance, unless it's like a substantial hack, but I'm pretty sure they took measures to avoid that, then they should be you should be safe there because they should be paying people back. But anyway, as you know, not your keys, not your crypto. So yeah, I don't recommend anybody to keep their crypto on exchanges unless they're trading. And just to reiterate, don't hold large amounts on there, because if a hack happens, you'll have to live with yourself being sorry that you're not going to see your funds ever again. And that is pretty harsh, right? It's not a nice feeling to have. So let's move on to the next piece of news, and that's about Bitmex. So co-founders of major cryptocurrency trading platform Bitmex are charged with violating the US Bank Secrecy Act. So again, pretty harsh, because this just shows you that it associates cryptocurrency with illegal activities, once again with criminal activities. So that's not good, right, for the crypto space, but it is what it is, right? 4 top executives of major crypto trading platform Bitmex have been charged with violating US anti-money laundering regulations. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission said on Thursday. The co-founders and head of business development have each been charged with 1 count of violating the US Bank Secrecy Act and 1 count of conspiracy to violate the act. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison, the Justice Department says, so that's pretty harsh. And that's the thing, like, basically they're saying here that they failed to implement the most basic compliance procedures, such as not having regulatory approval to run its trading facility. But to be honest, I mean, we could see a lot of money laundering happening with a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges, not just with Bitmex. Because if we look at the limit that we've got imposed at the moment of 2 Bitcoin per 24 hours with no KYC, it does mean that anybody can open an account with their email address and basically trade 2 Bitcoin, which they could have bought from somebody over the counter, or maybe from a Bitcoin ATM, which doesn't require any KYC. So basically there's no way to really identify if there's money laundering going on, as long as you can withdraw that 2 Bitcoin with no KYC. So I do wonder if in the future we're going to see some kind of regulation in that sense in some countries. Maybe, I mean, this would have to be applied in all the countries basically, because if not, exchanges would move to a country that would be more soft on their rules, right? But again, with US, we know they're pretty strict. So basically they're saying here, like William Sweeney, the FBI assistant director, said the 4 defendants willfully violated the act by evading its requirements. One defendant went as far as to brag the company incorporated in a jurisdiction outside the US because bribing regulators in that jurisdiction cost just a coconut. So it just shows you, right? Hence why we're seeing a lot of these cryptocurrency exchanges or companies that are starting to grow, moving to countries, usually like tax havens, where they could bribe the jurisdiction, right? And not necessarily bribe them, but even like the jurisdiction is softer over there. The fact that they want to make money from the taxes that these guys are paying. Not to mention that the taxes are not actually that high, right, over there. So they're actually for them, it's actually easy to just open a company on a small island, hire people to fly them there, basically offer them accommodation and so on, to get them to work for them, right? And some of the people from the island, of course, like we've seen cases with Malta or Antigua or other small islands like that, right? I mean, this is going to continue to happen, in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. When they have to deal with the US, there will be regulations. So I think only the really big exchanges that have a lot of money are going to be able to kind of follow the rules with the US and maybe kind of separate their platforms and so on. So we'll have to see how things move, right, from this perspective. But anyway, the fact that crypto are being associated with illegal activity once again is not a good sign, in my opinion. And again, it's not only specific to crypto, but it's just because the crypto market is such a small niche. The fact that they're associating them with illegal activity and drugs and all this sort of stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's never any good. It doesn't do anything good, right, for the crypto space. But that's it about Bitmex. Let's talk about a final piece of news, and that's Venezuela to start using cryptocurrency in global trade in efforts to fend off US sanctions. So Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro says that the country is to start using cryptocurrency in both domestic and global trade as part of efforts to neutralize crippling US economic situations. So that's what they're planning to do. The country has already been trying to use its national crypto, the Petro, for this purpose, but without much success. Maduro was delivering an anti-sanctions law aimed at spurring economic and social development, both paralyzed by US sanctions. The blockade has also throttled Venezuela's trade relations with much of the world, where the US dollar still dominates. Now the oil-rich South American country has set its sight on virtual currency. Venezuela, the world's 6th largest oil producer, is hoping to leverage cryptocurrencies to compensate for the squeeze in petrodollars arising from the economic sanctions. So yeah, Venezuela is working within the cryptocurrency world pretty much. And according to Bloomberg's report, the Central Bank of Venezuela is formally testing whether it can hold crypto in its reserves. The immediate targets include Bitcoin and Ethereum, which of course are the biggest. Both assets have been requested by state-run Petroleos de Venezuela. The oil company wants to send Bitcoin and Ethereum to the central bank and then have it to pay the firm's suppliers with the coin, says the report. Now, Venezuela's deepening economic crisis has led to a massive adoption of cryptocurrency, with more than $8 million worth of Bitcoin being traded peer-to-peer each week. So that is pretty bullish, right? Just shows that the volume is pretty huge. So we'll have to see if other countries follow, right? Are they going to follow? I don't know. I mean, Venezuela is in a pretty bad situation economically speaking, right? So they have to look at alternatives, because using their own fiat currency is just not an option. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this is pretty much it from today's video. We'll have to see how things progress in the crypto space. I am concerned about this upcoming financial crisis, right? If it does happen, it could, you know, crush the whole market, and we may be into another recession or into another bear market for crypto in that sense, right? Like 2018 and 2019, which were pretty harsh. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that the altcoin bull market started and it will continue, right? I hope it wasn't just like a fake mini bull market and then it tricked us all into getting bullish only to see a dump again, right? It could happen, but yeah, fingers crossed it doesn't. So that's it from today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.